Bulletin is coming to you live from Joy 99.7 FM studios here in Kokomlemle at digital address GA0993341. Also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country, including ATL FM in Cape Coast, Kekeli Radio in Ho. It's on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, DigiBank, Let's Go, and Telesol 4G. Just a touch in this edition. After 12 years since passage of representation of the People's Amendment Act through power, the Electoral Commission says it is now ready to implement the law this year. We have details here on the midday news, and an emergency meeting of Ghana's public health experts underway in Accra to review the country's response plan as the deadly coronavirus disease spreads from China to other parts of the world.
But we also have the responsibility to put in measures to prevent cross-border transmission, and we are strengthening mechanisms to screen up the people that are coming from the affected area when they are in any of our points of entry.
We have an update from that meeting, plus step up of surveillance at the country's entry point. In an Arrive Alive campaign, we hear the story of a man who returned home from the UK only to be crushed in an accident. Now he has run out of money, is bedridden and unable to travel again.
As we speak, I'm in bed. I can't walk. I can't stand on my legs. And my friend is also discharged at home. He can't do anything. He can't walk.
We have details as Auditor General Daniel Domelevo joins the campaign and recommends immediate construction of speed ramps at accident hotspots in sports.
Supporters group leader of Kumasi, Asante Kotoko, said NIDA consent to appear before the GFA Ethics Committee tomorrow following comment made after Asante Kotoko's game against Brecum Chelsea.
Also,
you see what is going on, and I'm giving 6 months, and by 6 months time I will come here with you and follow me, put pressure on me. 6 months time from today.
6 months after Roads Minister announced a deplorable Lekma Road will be fixed, the resident engineer on the project says that timeline is not attainable.
We are working towards the end of the year.
End of 2020?
Yes. The issue has to do with also payment. I'm sure if the employer also pay at the right time, by the end of the year, we should be able to finish the project.
And later in the bulletin.
Secret brilliance, Yamaya download to see a double. Let's know the see if some people know the hint. Sakonko, Constella. Muna the key, DJ Uncle.
The Secret Billions Fan Club, the Zongo Girls warring people on social media with funny quotes. You want to know more like Doreen Ando? Stay with me here on the Midday News. I have details. And in our very first story for this afternoon, the Electoral Commission says it is ready to implement the Representation of the People's Amendment Act through power. The act, which seeks to provide an opportunity for Ghanaians living abroad to participate in general elections, was passed by Parliament 12 years ago, but the EC has been unable to see its implementation. The Commission cites the unavailability of the required resources as its reason for failing to adhere to the law. Not even a suit in an order by the Accra High Court in 2017 for the Commission to begin the process of implementation has caused it to act. But at a forum on Election 2020 organized by the Bibiman Foundation in Accra, Acting Director Training of the EC, Michael Bwedu, said the implementation of the act is set to begin with a draft document already prepared and awaiting registration.
Is the EC ready? Yes, we are ready. The ROPAL is a Ghana thing. That to say, if we had to allow Ghanaians outside the borders of Ghana to register, we have to use Ghana's law on elections. And so whatever pertains here will not be too different from what we're going to see if we roll out ROPA. There are certain details that we cannot will not be able to let go now. But what I would say is that we've gone far with our arrangements for ROPA, and we will come out very soon with our modalities, because we intend doing registration early this year, and if we're going to roll out ROPA, it means that our relations out there who qualify to vote must also be registered. And so it must cover them right from the registration through to election. And so if you ask whether we are ready, say yes, we are, because by way of planning and putting things on paper, yeah, we are far advanced.
You heard that the Acting Director Training of the Electoral Commission, Michael Buedu, Head of Political Desk here, joins us. Evans Mensah joins me in studio with what we know so far regarding the implementation of ROPA.
So the EC official there talks about them being ready, but without an instrument in Parliament, it will be difficult for EC to implement. From what we're learning from the Electoral Commission as of today, they have already prepared a draft CI that they intend to submit to Parliament when Parliament resumes. We understand the timeline to that is next week. And once that goes, that will spell out the actual modalities for the implementation of the ROPA, which again will include registration of individuals who live outside the jurisdiction. Mm-hmm. From what we hear, it's possible that if this is matures in time in Parliament, the registration that has become pretty topical locally, mm-hmm. it's possible that the voters registration exercise, they will include registering of voters, Ghanaians who live outside the jurisdiction as well. So this won't be just a compilation of a voters register within the jurisdiction of Ghana, but outside as well, all in preparation for a full rollout of the ROPA in 2020, December 7.
Thank you very much, Evans Mensah, head of our political desk here, giving us more on implementation of the ROPA. Now, anti-graft group Ghana Integrity Initiative is asking the Electoral Commission to enforce portions of the Political Parties Act, which deals with declaration of assets and expenditure by political parties as it demands political integrity this election year. The call comes as Ghana maintained its CPI score of 41 from 2018 in the latest Corruption Perception Index, which was released today. GRI is warning there may be a possibility of the country's ranking dipping if corruption deepens as a result of vote buying and abuse of incumbency, among others. Lindo Forikwafu is Executive Director of the Ghana Integrity Initiative.
What is happening is that every year Corruption Perception Index has a focus. This year's 2019 DPI's focus is on political integrity. Then GI does well by explaining to us what they mean by political integrity. And they say that if you are contesting and exercising power, consistently acting in the public interest, so the people who are going to contest in an election, the people who are occupying public offices, must always be acting in the public interest. And the second one is that you are supposed to be providing equal, open, and meaningful access to the affected stakeholders before arriving at a decision. So we are talking about fair trials and all those things, judiciary working effectively, having a right to the Information Law Act of people to access information to defend themselves when they have court cases and all that. It is based on the focus of the CPI 2019. That is how come we make those kind of recommendations. Because already CPI's recommendation also tilted along the same line, but we didn't highlight them so much in our own. We try to contextualize what is much needed for us. So we focus, if you look at this critically, on the upcoming elections and also on issues of nepotism and all those things that actually amount or contribute to not having good political integrity.
Now, the GII board has also urged political parties to be truthful in their utterances as they mount platforms and address their party faithful at rallies this election year. Her call comes as Second Deputy Speaker Alban Bagbing at a rally in Techiman said Ghana is the most corrupt country in Africa and third in the world. Listen.
It's not for anybody to come and deceive you. You have experienced both. But for me, I can tell you that I have no doubt in my mind that during the time of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Ghana was going forward. We thought he was not doing well. We were misled. Today, we have His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and Ghana is going backward. As we talk today, Ghana is seen as the most corrupt country in Africa. We are third in the world. That is the result of Transparency International. It's not me saying it.
But Lindo Forikwafu says the claim is untrue.
Actually, if you look at our performance so far, there is no way that Ghana will ever now, at least for now, be the third most corrupt country in the world. And I think because DI was sending out teasers, so people tried to play a fast one on us. This is not the first time it's happening. But there's one thing we should actually know. In as much as we Ghanaians, we continue to do the things we do, thinking that we're actually trying to work against a particular political party, we are not doing well for ourselves, because the impact or the negative effects of such issues does not only affect the party in office or the politician or the president. Actually, it affects the whole country as the third most corrupt country in the world. So you might think you are doing some damage to government, but you're actually not presenting Ghana well in the eyes of people who might not actually see the real CPI score.
Now you heard that Lindo Forikwafo. She's the Executive Director of the Ghana Integrity Initiative. Now let's turn our attention to health, because Ghana's public health officials are currently wrapping up a meeting to review the country's emergency preparedness for the deadly coronavirus disease, which is fast spreading from China to other parts of the world, including United States, Japan, and South Korea. Death toll of the disease remains at 17, with nearly 600 cases recorded so far. Now we're told that there's some announcement that will be screening travelers for signs of infection at the country's entry point. This is one of the steps Ghana will also be taking to check the spread. Director of Public Health at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Bedu Sarkodie, has been speaking on preparedness.
At individual level, that's part of what we are doing now. General population information provision. But then we also have the responsibility to put in measures to prevent cross-border transmission. And we are strengthening mechanisms to screen up the people that are coming from the affected area when they are in any of our points of entry. And we hope that if we do all these things well, we'll be in position to prevent and protect against. And in the unlikely event should it happen, we'll be in position to pick it early to deal with it and contain it at source.
That's the Director of Public Health at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Bedu Sarkodie. Thankfully, he joins us on the line. We're grateful for your time here on the Midday News. We're told that you've been in an emergency meeting with public health officials, trying to, make sure that we are ready in case we record such a situation in the country. What did you come up with?
Yes, indeed. Emefa, good afternoon again. We need to get our house in order as a country with regards to our preparedness and response plan. So all the various areas that we are putting in place with regards to the surveillance issues, social mobilization, risk communication, case management, coordination, and then funding and resource. These are things that we want to plan and we want to discuss and come up with a final composite plan. What we have now is it's tentative. But then we need to concretize it, send to the Honorable Minister, probably have a discussion, take it up, and then discuss with the other partners. Even the development partners were there, the CDC, the WHO, and other partners. They were all there. So we just putting our house in order to come out clearly with the areas that we are doing, where we are now, and how to step up whatever that we need to do.
But Doctor, I would want to find out how close this coronavirus disease is to Ghana.
You see, we are in the whole world is now a global village, and infection somewhere is everywhere. Because just a flight to some area and somebody from Ghana going to the affected areas, we are aware that the main area and then the center of this epidemic is the Wuhan area of the China Republic. But then in very short time, it has quite a number of countries, about 6 of them, have recorded cases. And this also buttresses the point that it's not just a localized outbreak, and it can go anywhere. So it's as close to Ghana as to any other country, and we have to do best and prepare adequately so that we prevent and protect against. And then, should it happen, the most importantly, we pick it early and contain the situation without permitting it to spread wide before you start chasing it.
But briefly, I know you've increased surveillance at the Kotoka International Airport, for instance. So far, no case recorded.
So far, no case recorded.
We're grateful for your time. That's Director of Public Health at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Bedu Sarkodie. Head of Joy News' Health Desk, Fred Smith, is at the Kotoka International Airport as we speak. He joins us on the line. What have you picked up, Fred?
Well, the screening is ongoing here at the Kotoka International Airport for passengers arriving from China. A while ago, Emefa, the Ethiopian airline from Gwangju to Addis, arrived here, and the passengers who came through were taken through the extensive screening in the arrival hall before they were checked out. Some of them I have seen they had mask on, a face mask on before they exited the hall.
Well, but I'm sure you got to interact with some of the passengers. What have they been telling you, or those you saw at the airport, what have they been saying?
Well, what I've seen so far are the people being screened, but nobody has spoken to me on record yet, but I've seen that from the screening room.
That's the head of Health Desk here, Fred Smith, joining us from the Kotoka International Airport. It's time now for our Arrive Alive campaign, and in this edition, he lived a good life in the UK and only returned home for holidays. But little did the man who only gave his name as Eric know that misfortune lurked at the corner. While on his way to Pram Pram, his car was involved in an accident after he was crossed by another vehicle. He has spent all his savings on medical bills, but is still unable to walk again and remains indoors here in Accra. He shared a story on Arrive Alive, our road safety campaign to reduce the carnage on Ghana's roads.
The other car was overtaken. We collided. Apart from damage to my head, I had broken legs. My 2 legs were broken, were fractured, and I was sent to a private hospital. They call it Greenville, and later rushed to Kolebu Hospital. As we speak, I'm in bed. I can't walk. I can't stand on my legs. And my friend is also, he was admitted at the General Hospital. He is also discharged at home. He can't do anything. He can't walk. He can't.
So sorry to hear that. I understand that apart from having the silicone and implants inserted in both of your thighs, you have 2 nurses attending to you around the clock.
2 nurses with me at this very minute.
And they are always there with you?
Yes, 24 hours.
With you first. How does it make you feel knowing that you were able-bodied, you were fine before the 6th of December, and now you're bedridden?
Well, I feel just let down that coming to Ghana on holiday and to end up this way, yes, I can't get my head around it. The way things are done in Ghana, the style of driving and everything. And the driver of the 4-wheel drive car drove away. He escaped. Don't drove away. He ran away from the scene. I don't know whether the police have arrested him or not.
We've also been speaking to some of the nurses who are taking care of him.
Well, Eric has a fracture, bilateral fracture of the knee, and as of now, we are rendering 24-hour service care. We are taking care of him as his resident.
Okay. Looking at the way that the condition that he was in when you started treating him, if I may ask bluntly, how close was he to losing his life?
Anyway, when he was taken to Kolebu and taken care of, the condition was stabilized before he was discharged. And so we are taking care of we are managing the wound site where the surgery was done, and also his movement in bed. We are making sure he doesn't develop any bed ulcers.
Is he able to get out of the bed at all?
No. He's not able to get out of bed.
Now, ranking member on the Roads and Transport Committee, Kwame Agboja, says they will be demanding answers from the National Road Safety Authority and the sector ministers on the spate of road accidents in the country.
If the new power is given to the National Road Safety Authority, how they are utilizing that in terms of collaboration with the MTTD and others. Because part of the money that we supposed to give them through the road fund was for deeper public education. We want to know how they've been utilizing whatever meager amount they've had so far, and to follow up on what we discussed in the past, which is the road ministry to take up the responsibility as is given to them to resolve issues about wrong signage and missed signage and other things on the roads, and I think we can make some progress. Our committee, we're reopening on Tuesday, as may be aware, and we've already invited the Minister of Finance and the Road Minister, and all those before we went on recess. And then once we come back, I believe this issue is a critical issue which we should revisit. And with your correspondent in Parliament, we should be able to focus on this, not just like an ad hoc basis, focus on it consistently, and together we can make an impact. This must not go on forever. The Transport Minister and fortunately the Road Minister is a colleague in Parliament.
Meanwhile, Auditor General Daniel Domelevo has also joined Joe Newton's campaign Arrive Alive. He's suggesting immediate construction of speed ramps at accident hotspots.
Think it should be of concern to any Ghanaian. I've heard the road minister promising that they are going to dualize some of our roads, which is very encouraging news, but that is not going to happen today or next year. So my simple suggestion is that why don't we construct speed ramps at all the accident-prone areas? Wherever there is a blind spot where we think accidents can occur or do occur, why don't we within the next 2 weeks construct speed ramp, standard ones, of course. And I think that will keep the people alive until the dualization arrives. Our observation, which will soon come out, I think in less than a month or next month, our report will go to Parliament. You will see that the major observation is that the quality of the roads are not good. The roads are not constructed to meet the standard specified in the bill of quantity. I think that one disease which kills Ghanaians most is corruption. My thumbs up for you. You are doing fantastic job. I think it is a responsibility that all Ghanaians should take, and I would like to play my part to ensure that people arrive safe or alive.
You heard the Auditor General Daniel Domelevo joining the Arrive Alive campaign. We acknowledge your tweets and comments on Facebook and of course on Twitter. Keep them coming. Join the hashtag Arrive Alive. We'll take a quick break on the midday news. When we return, we'll stay on the roads because 6 months after Roads Minister announced the deplorable Lekma Road will be fixed, the resident engineer on the project says that timeline is not attainable. And then also we'll hear from the Billions Club. Do stay with us on the midday news.
UMB was established in 1972 as the premier bank for the corporate and private sector in Ghana. From our very beginning, as the only Ghanaian bank serving all categories of businesses, we set a standard for excellence and innovation over the past 45 years. We've built a financially healthy and strong bank, demonstrated our commitment to our customers and to growing businesses, and exhibited originality and innovation at every turn. At UMB, our focus is built around people, service, products, and technology. These are the key to our present success and our future triumphs. At UMB, we're poised to make a difference not only with our customers, but also in the banking industry. We invite you to share in our future. Our future starts now with you.
This bulletin live on Jubilee Radio Keta, Volta Premier Ho, Lolonyo FM Hohoi, World Community Radio and Bishara Radio Northern Region, Pad FM Damango, K Poly Radio Koforidua, Sunshine FM Boko, Radio Fubisi Upper East Region, Gaskia FM Bono East Region, Kai FM Bono Region, ATL FM Cape Coast, Radio Max Taprade, and Radio Somali Upper West Region.
Thanks for staying with us here on the midday news. Time now for sports, Hans.
And Seth Nida, a supporters group leader of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, will appear before the GFA Ethics Committee tomorrow. It follows the GFA's earlier announcement that they have referred Nidako to the Ethics Committee for investigations into alleged unethical comments he made before and after the Ghana Premier League Match Day 3 game between Kotoko and Brekum Chelsea. Nidako, who is a member of the Greater Accra National Circles Council's communications team, made various allegations against the referee for the match, Mr. Charles Bulu, and the president of the GFA, Keto Kweku. A news publication which has been attributed to him and a video recording in which he made various allegations have been submitted to the Ethics Committee to aid its investigations. And of course, on Sunday, the Super Clash is on. Ahead of that one, the official pre-match press conference is currently ongoing, and we'll be sure to bring you details in our subsequent bulletins. That's your sport.
Thank you very much, Hans.
You see what is going on? And I'm giving 6 months. And by 6 months' time, I will come here with you and follow me, put pressure on me. 6 months time from today, I will come here with you, and I'm telling the people of the Jokuku constituency, it's not only this road. This road, they haven't seen anything. I am tackling a number of the arterial roads.
An agitated roads minister, Kwesi Amoakwata, in July 2019, when he visited the 7.5-kilometer Lekma stretch, which had been in deplorable state for more than a decade. A multimedia campaign drive supported by residents highlighted the impact of the poor road stretch on healthcare delivery, commerce, and everyday lives of the people, prompting some action from the minister. 6 months after the announcement, there appears a shift in completion date, as only 50% of work has been done so far. We'll hear from resident engineers shortly, but some residents who spoke to Roland Walker say they are excited at least one lane of the stretch has been fixed.
The roads are much better now. It used to be very terrible in the past. When it rains, we are unable to use the stretch. But we are grateful some work has been done so far.
And this is a far cry from the situation we met about 6 months ago. Because then the drivers like Alex were complaining that the roads or the stretch was not fixed. It was leading to concerns about delays in not only commuting but also getting access to the hospital. Are you familiar with this stretch?
Yeah.
Have they done the road?
Like something good.
Something good.
Yeah, man.
Ne afenwe ewa shwe fese da ne ko pa mulu keni bi epa woni bi ai agbene we mi na gelo le won ka me hu ame hu no fianu ye fine
if you make MPA bo modern kan campaign kan bi e fe na joy kan mempi hu ba fe kefata e hu
ame modern wa ni joy news ke Adom FM.
We are grateful to the multimedia group for spearheading this campaign.
Residents of Lekma interacting with Roland Walker. Well, the resident engineer Philip Ansa says due to some challenges, work should be completed by December 2020 instead of the January 20 deadline. He spoke on the AM show on Multi TV.
Within this period, that's between January and March, that is the best time because the rains are not here. We're able to do so much. But I think we are working towards the end of the year and that all things being equal.
End of 2020?
Yes. The issue has to do with also payment, So if I'm sure if the employer also pay at the right time, then we should, let me say, by the end of the year, we should be able to finish the project.
So you're saying that even if the monies are paid on time, you are still looking at end of 2020 for completion?
I think that is a good estimate. We've done something in the past 6 months, which was a bit accelerated, So we are looking at all things being around August to be able to finish. That is all things being equal, yes. Because after doing the other side, now we have to do the traffic installation, lane marking, traffic light installation. So if you ask me, August should be a good estimate. But the contractor is doing his best. If the payment, so if there's any condition, I will look at the payment.
We still have our eyes on the Lekma Road. Now, in our 25-year history, the multimedia group has worked closely with civil society organizations to impact society. One of them is Imani Africa, which championed reforms in pension regulation in the country. As multimedia celebrates 25 years of broadcasting, President of Imani Africa, Franklin Kujo, shares the story of how counsel from the late Komla Dumo helped boost the advocacy work of the think tank.
Events that followed after the birth of Joy FM actually are all out there for us to see, and certainly some of us have been impacted greatly, and we have used the platform to also advance not just our personal careers of an institution, but also help advance the cause of our democracy because of the subjects that were discussed on those platforms. Before we got on Joy as a think tank or even as an individual, I recall I'd spoken with Komla Dumo, the late Komla Dumo, may so rest in peace, and I told him that, well, look, I'm a young man who believes that this country could be changed through policy analysis, especially coming from a young man. And one thing they said was, well, if I put you up immediately, people would think that you've actually paid us to promote you. And he was speaking to a certain narrative, which meant that at the time, it was even difficult to have alternate views So even though it was a turn-off, it was an opportunity. And I remember his advice. Well, you keep reading. I've seen your write-ups. At the time, I'd written for the Daily Telegraph, the Wall Street Journals at the time. He said, I've seen your write-ups. Just keep writing in the Ghanaian media, and we'll use that as a basis to get you onto the platform.
You heard the president of Imani Africa, Franklin Kujo, there. Now, there are a group of pretty Zongo girls who have suddenly become a social media sensation. Now, in one of their viral videos, their leader is seen holding a microphone and reciting some interesting quotes her colleagues respond to with glee. We've been sampling some of them for you.
Secret, we know who we are. Secret villains, Yamaya down to see a double. Let's know the see if some people know the hate. So, this is a mind for you want when I see a mind. It's your brave war, missing baby and missing. Who won't try us? When you get Koyo, supporter himself. They're the Danny show now and show her. They're the entire way in a Danny Sakonko, Consele, Benku Shishi, Benku Kala.
Secret Billions Fan Club, but people are talking about Arrival Live. Maps, what are they saying?
All right, so this one is from Atilia Abatia, who says those overage cars without brakes but have first aid kits should be taken off the road. And Kofi King says these drivers are the cause of many accidents in Ghana. The last one is from Michael, who says most of these accidents are caused due to overtaking. Maybe it's time we consider dual lanes.
And as a hashtag Arrival Live, I am Emefa Apawu. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Thanks so much for your company.